Welcome to today's special interview where we will be bringing a deep insight about the valuable opportunities which the Sri Lankan roof tilers do have to work in Australia. And also in this interview, we will be talking the important role played by the Darwin in their recruitment. So for today's interview, we do have Mr. David Potter with us. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. David Potter, I do have a few questions to ask from you. And the first question is it true that the roof tilers can go to Australia?
Yes, under the new, the 482 visa that the Australian government's doing. We've got a couple of them working very well at the moment. So.
Also, could I know your experience in Sri Lanka to this far?
Only from a recruitment perspective. So I don't know a lot about Sri Lanka. Obviously the Darwin have kicked in. So I know very little, but obviously I'm learning quickly that it's a good market for us as Australian business to find staff. So
it would actually be a good market to develop in Sri Lanka also. So as a big businessman in Australia, why did you choose the Sri Lankan workforce?
Look, I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily choose the Sri Lankan workforce. I just wanting to expand my business in Australia. So I wasn't able to do that I just wasn't able to do it at the pace that we wanted to do it with the Australian labour force. I got some of the best people in Victoria that work for us, but I just don't have enough of them. There's just not enough, there's just not enough good people. So, so I just sort of had to open my eyes up to what was on offer outside of Australia, and through various different avenues, I've landed in Sri Lanka. So,
Mr. David, what specific Sri Lankan workforces are you looking to recruit to Australia?
So obviously our roofing business, so roof tilers, that's the major one for us. But I've heard of other businesses looking for skill shortages sort of within the welding. I know plumbing's a big one as well. There's a lot of recruitment going on in plumbing. I've even heard of fishermen is one that I've heard of as well. But I suppose just trade in general is opportunity. So
that means we have a broad area
it's quite broad,
open for the Sri Lankan workforces, if I'm right.
Yes.
Okay, great. What do you think about them and their services?
Look, I was looking for quite a while. I was really struggling with this whole process from Australia. And the introduction to Darwin was actually from a cold call. So they actually reached out to me in Australia, asked what I was looking for and had I thought about Sri Lankan. I was thinking a lot of different countries. So it was them that reached out to me that was the helper. So. And
are the Darwin staff in Australia and Sri Lanka helpful for your work?
Yes, definitely. So. So we've got eight Sri Lankan employees currently in our business, and they're still reaching out to Darwin for assistance now. So just answering all the questions. So it's not so much once they're placed, we don't really need it's sort of the job's done and we take over from there. But even the staff are still using Darwin for little bits and pieces, so it's been a good move.
My final question, how are the previous recruitments been and how are they doing well right now?
So if I talk two of them have been there for probably a bit over 18 months. They're doing really well. Then the other 6, they're probably only really been here sort of anywhere from sort of 3 to sort of 6 or 7 months. A lot of them still in the training phase. There's obviously very different roofing in Sri Lanka to roofing in Australia. So from a business perspective, we're having to put a lot more into training and upskilling these guys. But look, it's working. It's working for us as a business. It's working for them as a transaction. That's what I always try and look for. It's got to be fair. So what they're getting's got to be fair, and what we're getting's got to be fair, and that's good business.
Yeah,
so,
of course. So you believe that the Sri Lankan workforce is a best fit to work in Australia as well?
It's a great complement to our current Australian workforce. That's what we're finding for a growing business like mine. That Australia just sort of doesn't seem to have just the volume of people that we need. Keep in mind too, it is quite crucial that the Australians are there working with the Sri Lankan. It's really important that it's not, it's not becoming a Sri Lankan business. It's assisting my Australian business, I suppose, is the best way of putting it. Yeah. So, but working really well. So.